often have you encountered that one person in high school who, despite having a rigorous course load, was always able to put forth their best effort and attain near perfect grades? Does the idea of you being in that situation sound overwhelmingly difficult? Fortunately, such a prospect isn't that hard to achieve. There are certain tips that, if implemented properly into your lifestyle, will help you become a spectacular student. Today, we're going to examine these tips for success by focusing especially on having the ideal mindset, using the right resources and methods, and by utilizing organizational skills. Now, let's start off with the ideal mindset. And the first cornerstone of this is how students perceive intelligence to begin with. And in the academic journal, Women in Higher Education, there's a theory called implicit self-theory. And this theory has two contentions. The first contention is that intelligence is fixed. What you're born with is what you have, and no amount of hard work is going to change that. This aspect of that theory is very negative and basically rules out any notion of hard work, and it discourages any form of perseverance. As a successful student, you're going to ignore that kind of mentality. Now, the second notion of implicit self-theory states that the brain itself is fluid and dynamic, and with hard work and perseverance, your success is going to go up. And this idea is actually called neuroplasticity. And that idea, again, states scientifically that the brain is fluid and dynamic, and as you learn from your mistakes and put in hard work, the results are going to be there for you, and you are going to attain success. That is the kind of view that we as successful students need to have. Now, moving forward, the next cornerstone of the ideal mindset is how students have their views of the world, what their general mindsets are. In that same academic journal, Women in Higher Education, they mentioned two mindsets, the fixed mindset, the growth mindset. The fixed mindset is essentially when a student believes that failure is bad. They don't leave their comfort zone, and all they think about is success, no matter how they attain it. We don't want that kind of view, because we know that failure is something that you can learn from, because nobody is invincible. And so let's talk about the benefits of the growth mindset. The growth mindset, you view failure as a pillar of success, and you view any kind of experience as a learning opportunity that will help you better yourself with the inevitable passage of time, and also your success in turn will increase inevitably. Have this mindset, and any kind of failure you have will be brushed aside just like that as you motivate yourself to keep working harder and harder and harder. The second broad point we want to touch base with is utilizing the right sort of methods or resources. And one main issue nowadays is note-taking. In the academic journal, Journal of Advanced Academics, there's a shocking statistic provided. And that statistic states that in a lecture setting, most students will omit up to 70% of critical information that's going to show up on the actual exam. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 70%. Now, this obviously accentuates the need to prioritize information. As a fellow student, I know how much work we have to do. So don't write down every single word your professor says. Rather, take bullet point notes and focus on the esoteric points, and focus on what you think will be on the exam based off your teacher's cues. Another method that we have to really touch base with here is the use of redundant study strategies. And that's very prevalent nowadays. Many students tend to use redundant study strategies like rereading, recopying, and memorizing for all kinds of exams. And this is touched off with in the Journal of Advanced Academics. Also in the Journal of Advanced Academics, they talk about the origin of these types of study methods. And unfortunately, that's actually in our own education system, as teachers nowadays, early on in kindergarten even, never really tell their students how to study. They just tell them what to study. They say, you have an exam next week, and students panic, how do we study? And it becomes overwhelming, and they revert to memorizing, and this never really does work out. Rather, integrate the knowledge into your life. Be passionate, and success will follow. If you're learning about Galileo, watch a documentary about a heliocentric universe, talk to friends, family, and just make it a cornerstone of your life. And the last thing we want to touch off on is implementing organizational skills. And one aspect of that, as discussed in the academic magazine U-Wire, is the idea of having a binder. And with having a binder, you want to have clear dividers. In my own binder here, you can see clear, color-coded print dividers that highlight different aspects of my binder, whether that be research, original work, mentorship, or my contacts. Having a clear binder like this that's also labeled and maintained gives you pride in your work and lets you spend more time on the actual work than needless time trying to find something that's lost. Also have a calendar, as UWire statistics show that students with calendars are more punctilious and keep up with their work amounts. And finally, have a clean desk area that you can work at, because with a clean desk area, you're more likely to subconsciously, associate studying with something positive and beneficial than something negative. And so to recapitulate, I hope that I've enlightened you with these tips of success by analyzing, the right mindset, by listing the proper resources and methods, and by accentuating the need for organizational skills. Please do implement these skills in your life, and with the course of time, you'll become a successful student just like that one we talked about, regardless of your course load. Best wishes. Thank you.